Good morning. This side Shravan, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. My today's topic is decision making in C. So we will start what are decision making statements, how we will use it. Basically this topic we will cover in PPS, Programming for Problem Solving. That will be either in even SEM as well as odd SEM, BCS 101 for odd SEM and BCS 201 for even SEM. So what are decision making statements? So decision making is about deciding the order of execution of statement based on certain condition or repeat group of statement till certain specific conditions are met. So C language handle decision making by the support of following statement: if statement, switch statement, and conditional operator and go to statement. So we will discuss each and every statement one by one. So first of all, decision making with if statement. The if statement may be implemented in different formats depending on the complexity of the condition to be tested. So there are different forms of if statement. For example, we will discuss simple if statement, means only if we can say. Second is if else statement. Third is nested if statement, and last one is else if statement, or we can say else if header. So first is if else statement, only if statement, or we can say simple if statement. So the general form of simple if statement is if, then condition or expression that we will write block for particular statement, and this is the code that will be write outside the block. So if is a keyword. If will testify what the condition is written, or we can say expression is written inside that text, so in the expression mode. So if the condition is true, the following block or next executive statement will be executed, otherwise it will not be executed. So if the expression returns the true, then the statement inside will be executed, otherwise statement inside will be skipped, only outside statement will be executed. So let us see in this example what we are going to see. That is the code for finding greatest among two numbers. So here we write, we start with hash include stdio.h, and next our main function is there. After the main function, we are declaring two variables x and y. Value of x is 15 and value of y is 13. If I say if x is greater than y, in that case x is greater than y. So here we are going to see value of x is already greater than y because value y x is 15 and value y is 13. So 15 is greater than 13. In that case, here the value will be true. In as we already know, Boolean data type is not in C, but we will represent with Boolean value by the integer value. So the value either will be 0 or it will be 1. In this case, the value will be 1. So condition is true. In that case, x is greater than y will be printed. So we will see the output x is greater than y on our output screen. Second is if else statement. The general form of simple if statement is only if statement, but what we say, if we say if one statement is true, another statement can be false. So that is the otherwise statement, or we can write only else block. So in the if statement, we will write expression. Expression will represent represent any Boolean value that will be true or false. If that condition will be true, in that case, this block 1 will be executed. Otherwise, block 2 will be executed in case of falsing of this if statement. So if the expression is true, the statement block 1 will be executed, else statement block 1 is skipped and statement 2 block will be executed. Let us see in this example. Here what we are going to do, we take same example, x is value of x is 15 and value y is 18. Here what we see, earlier in this case value of y was 13, the the if condition was true. In that case, because x is greater than y, x was printed. Now in this case, what we are going to see, value of x is 15 and value of y is 18. In that case, x is not greater than y, which means this condition will become false. When it will become false, the statement, this statement will be skipped and else block will be executed. Once the else block will be executed, what we will see on the screen, y is greater than x. Y will be greater than x. Now, next is our nested if statement, if-else statement. The general form of nested if-else statement is if expression. Again, we are testifying if statement inside the if. So, same statement is going to be executed inside the if statement, that is nested if statement. So, once we are going to put a if statement, we are also testing else statement within that block. So, that is the form of nested if-else statement. If statement is there, if this statement will be true, the whole expression of this if and else will be executed. Otherwise, this else will be executed. This else is belongs to this if statement and this if is belongs to this else is belong to if statement. So, if expression is false, then statement block 3 will be executed. Otherwise, execution continue and enter inside the first if to perform the check for the next if block, where if expression 1 is true, the statement block 1 is executed. Otherwise, statement block 2 is executed. Now see in this example, what is going to be there? We are going to find greatest among 3 numbers. So we have taken 3 variables a, b and c, and we are taking these values at the runtime using printf and scanf statement. So what we are going to see, if a is greater than b, it means next block, if a is true, a is greater than b means that statement is true. In that case, this if block will be executed inside the if. Otherwise, what is going to be there? We will check b is greater than c. Okay. So, if a is greater than c, in that case, this will be testified. Otherwise, else c will be greatest. The same, if this condition becomes false, the else condition will be testified, and in that case, if b is greater than c will be testified. If that is true, the our value of b will be greater. Otherwise, value of c is greatest. That is the main goal for nested if and else. Next, we are talking about most important topic, that is if else if ladder. What is inside the else if ladder? So, else if ladder says it is what you are going to see. This is becoming, you are seeing it as a ladder, means step by step values are going to be increased, or we can say in the decreasing order. So, how it is going to be performed? That is most important question that will be asked in your university examinations. So, if expression 1, the statement block 1 will be testified and that will be executed. Otherwise, what is going to be there? Expression 2 will be executed and block 2 will be executed. If that is not there, in that case, statement expression 3 will be testified and block 3 will be testified. If that is not true, in that case, else statement will be executed that contain the default statement for this if statement. So, the expression is tested from the top of the ladder downwards. As soon as the true condition is found, the statement associated with this it is executed. So, let us see in this example. So, what is going to be there? We are going to take this example, value of a will be taken from the user. So if I say A is modulus to 5 equal to 0 and value of A mod 8 equal to 0, which means both are divisible by 5 and 8, in that case this will be printed. Otherwise, what is going to be there? Value of A mod 8 equal to 0 or value of A mod 5 equal to 0, means either it will be divisible by 5 or it will be divisible by 8. If nothing is going to be true, in that case else part will be executed and divisible by none will be printed. So that is the case of nested, we can say, if else ladder. Next, some point to be remembered, once you are going for if else statement, first of all, in the if statement, a single statement can be included without enclosing it into the curly braces. If I am saying, if I writing more than one statement, only first statement will be associated with this if else, with this if statement. Rest of the statement will be not counted with this if statement. If I say कि more than one statement is written, so what I will do, I will write in this curly bracket, or we can say block. So no curly braces are required in the above case, but if we have more than one statement inside if condition, then we must enclose them inside the curly bracket. Second is, the equality must be used for comparison in expression or if condition. If we use this expression, that is the main difference. This will our equality operator and this is our assignment operator, and expression is always true. If some student write this thing A equal to, which means B is assigning to A, which is always true. So in that case, it because it perform assignment, not comparison. That is the most important thing we have to remember. Third thing, other than 0, all other values are considered as true. As I earlier said, C does not have any kind of Boolean data type as Java or Python have. So to represent Boolean value, we use integer value as a true or false. If I say value 0, it means condition is false. If except 0, all other values are considered as true. So if I writing this statement, if 27, it means value is not 0, it means value is true inside the if. So this print will be there and we will see on the output screen hello will be printed. Next important step, next most important topic, that is switch statement. When we want to solve multiple option type problem, for example menu like program where one value is associated with each option, so we need to choose only one at a time, then we use switch statement. So switch statement is a control statement that allow us to choose only one choice among all the given choices. So the expression in switch evaluate to return an integral value, which is then compared the value present in the different cases. So it execute that block of code which match the case value. Most important thing, if there is no match, then default block is going to be executed. So what we are going to see here, we will use this switch as a keyword, we will use case as a keyword and default as a keyword. So let us start with switch statement. So a switch statement have an optional default case. The default case has no associated value and simply use the reserved word default. If the default case is present, control will transfer it to no other case value match here. Also, if there is no default case, then no other value matches control fall through to the statement after the switch. Most important thing, we will use a one more keyword, that is break statement. We will continue after the loop statement. So the break statement in switch case is used to terminate the switch block after the matching code is executed. Without it, the program will executing the subsequent cases. A behavior is known as fall through. Most important word is fall through, which is usually unintended, which means once the value is going to be not matched there, automatically the break is not there. So it will read all the cases without going to testify them, and that is happen to be a fall through statement. Most important thing, that is the general form of switch statement is switch expression case value 1, here will be block, also break. One more important thing, you will see here in expression either it will be integer or character in case of switch used in C. Most important thing, the case, we will write case, next that value, that will be integer or character value. Here we will use colon operator, colon operator. Also the block will be there, we can write block or we can use curly bracket also. After that we will use break statement. If we not use the break statement, it will be fall through condition for us. Same apply here, and the last one we will write default case. Default case will have the default block, and that will be used with or without break, because this is our last statement. So rules for using switch statement: the expression after switch keyword must yield an integer. The expression should be an integer or a variable or expression that evaluate to an integer value. The case label value must be unique. Reason being, if I say here case 1, here case 2 and here case 1, value will not be unique. So that will be give us compile time error. Next important thing, case label must end with colon. As I already say, we will use colon after the case statement. Also, the next line after the case statement can be any valid C statement. That will be printf statement or any expression or anything can be written here. So point to be remembered, we don't use those expression to evaluate switch case which may return floating value or a string value or a character value. As I already say, we will use either switch case with integer value or a character value. Also, the break statement are used to exit the switch block. It is not necessary to use break after each block, but if you don't use it, then all the consecutive block will be executed after the matching block. So here what we are going to see, we are taking value of I equal to 1. So we use switch. Here the value of I will be represented. Value of I is 1. So case 1, case 2, case 3 I have written because values are of integer type. So case 1, here 1 will be match with this one. So print A will be there. Since no break is there, so what we see, we will see A, B and C because it is going to be fall through. If I write break here, in that case only A will be printed. Next, the output are supposed to only A because only the first case match, but as there is no break statement after that block, the next block are executed too until it break statement is in encounter or the execution reach to the end of the switch block. So the default case is executed when none of the mentioned case of the switch statement, switch expression. The default case can be placed anywhere in the switch case, even if we don't include the switch case statement work. Nesting of switch statement are allowed, which means we can use a switch statement inside other switch block. However, nested switch statement should be avoided as it makes the program more complex and more readable. Here what we are going to see, here we have 3 choices, and what we are going to do, we use loop statement. What we are going to create a calculator. So press 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 next what we are going to choice there. So choice will be 1 or 2 or 3, whatever we may enter. So if 1 is there, addition will be there, 2 is there, subtraction will be there. If none of the case will be passed, in that case we will encounter with default case. So that is most important question, difference between if else and switch statement. So first is expression inside if statement decide whether to execute the statement inside the if block or under the else block. But in case of switch statement, expression inside the switch statement decide which case to be executed. Second important thing, an if else statement use multiple statement for multiple choices, while the switch statement use single expression for multiple choices. If statement checks for only equality as well as logical expression, while the switch statement only check for equality operator. Here it can be any kind of operator will be used that can be that can give Boolean value greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to any of the value. Next, if statement evaluate integer, character, pointer, floating or Boolean type. But in switch statement, it evaluate only character or integer data type. Sequence of expression execution is either statement under the block will be executed or statement in the else block will be executed. While the expression in the switch statement decide which case to be executed. If they do not apply to the break statement after the each case, it will execute till the end of the switch statement. Next, if expression inside if turned out to be false, statement inside the else block will be executed. While in expression inside the switch statement turned out to be false, then default statement are to be executed. Most important thing, it is difficult to edit if else statement as it is tedious to trace where the correction is required, while it is easy to edit switch statement as they are easy to trace. Thank you.